I don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Where am I? Where am I, you ask? First things first. Welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. On a scale from MSNBC to Vladimir Zelensky, how reasonable have we been this week? Where am I? In one of my sister's guest rooms. And guess what time it is? It is currently 12:14 a.m. on Wednesday, February 26th. It is 12:16 a.m. We gonna get into it. We'll get into it with the What's Up with Z. I think I could get into it now. Basically, I was in Chicago and I have to be in New York. And so I had 2 days in between Chicago and New York. And I was like, do y'all hear even in my voice? Even my voice is sounding like, girl, you should have been asleep 3 hours ago. What are you doing? I was like, okay, I have 2 days in between Chicago and New York. What's in between Chicago and New York? My family. And so I decided to see my family on the days in between. And today I have been at my sister's house and my 3 nephews are here, my sister. So it's been a day. It's been a day. And yeah, I had to wait until everybody went to sleep. Every single person, even after the kids went to sleep. My sister had me watching. My sister had me watching Baddies. She's my younger sister. She had me watching Baddies. She had me watching, my voice is so deep right now. She had me watching Marriage at First Sight, Scam Something, everything. Then finally she was like, okay, I'm about to go to sleep. I'm like, and now I can tape my podcast. And then I was like, do you have a light I could use? Earlier in the day, I was like, I'm going to have to take my podcast later. Do you have like a ring light or something? She was like, I don't have a ring light, but I do have another light. And I'm like, okay, cool. I waited too long to ask her for that light again because I was like, so where's the light? And she was like, dang, sis, I really don't even know. And here's the thing. She got 3 boys. One of them is like 1.5 years old and he was sick today. She had to take him to the doctor. And so I ain't about to ask her to go look for some light so that I can look okay on this camera with no makeup at all after being up for about 20 hours. I ain't about to ask her, could you please find a light for my vanity? Also, because I ain't about to at 12:16 a.m. I ain't about to put not a drop of makeup on. There's no way. Anyway, what we talking about today on I'm Reasonable, right? I'm actually not even going to talk a lot about MSNBC, and by MSNBC I mean the canceling of Joanne Reed's show, or the leader of the Ukraine, Vladimir, I want to call him Vladimir Zelensky, but I looked at the way it's spelled. I'm like, oh, you got to pronounce every single, it's like Vladimir. Anyway, the reason why, the little bit that I do want to say, and the reason why I use them on a scale, MSNBC being the most unreasonable and Vladimir Zelensky being, metaphorically on the more reasonable scale. Did I ask y'all how reasonable? Yo, it's late. Y'all already know it's about to be one of them episodes where I'm all over the place. Okay. So, like I said, I'm not going to go into it too much on this episode. I don't want y'all to be like, well, what you mentioning it for if you ain't about to go into it? Shut up. Cállate la boca. Shh. Because a few of you do get rather bold in the comments and forget to start with the respectfully Z. So I'm not going to go too much into it this episode, but wow, how disappointing, MSNBC. How disappointing. How dare you? How dare you cancel Joy Ann Reid's show? How dare you? Now, I have been looking for a statement on why, and so I didn't find like a direct quote from anybody, but apparently there is a new program director at MSNBC. There's a new program director, and they are replacing her show. They're replacing that time slot with a panel show. Apparently, although Joy Ann Reid's show gets higher ratings than that same time slot on MSNBC than any show on CNN. I guess that's one of their competing networks. It is not outranking the Fox News outlet and one other news outlet that I can't remember right now. I'm so sorry. It's 12:19 a.m. However, I believe that all of the networks are suffering in terms of engagement because, one, it's cable news, one, it's linear television, right? And so where they're getting all the news, like even me, every single thing the past however many years that I have seen from Joy Ann Reid has been because I am tuning into her clips on YouTube, her clips on TikTok, her clips on Instagram. Now, do I find myself watching multiple of her clips? Absolutely, but I'm never turning on the TV. Only time I'm ever watching CNN, like in its time slots, MSNBC, CNN, etc., ABC, NBC, it's only when I'm in hotel rooms. That's it. And even still, when the linear TV, when the cable TV is playing on the TV in my hotel room, which admittedly I am in hotels a lot, I'm still on my phone scrolling through social media, seeing news clips on social media sites. But also what happens in television is whenever some new person, like whenever there's a change of guard, that's a good way to put it. Whenever there's a change of guard, they feel like they always got to change stuff. But sometimes you don't got to change just because it's not a part of your regime don't mean you have to change it. I'm going to use Amazon, for example, right? This is the show that I'm on Upload. We were a show that was a part of an old regime. And when the new head of programming, Jennifer Salke, who's wonderful. But as soon as she came over to Amazon, she wiped the slate clean. This was at a time, I don't know if you guys remember, but maybe in like 2018 or something like that, Amazon actually shot a bunch of pilots, a bunch of half-hour pilots, and they basically put it out there for the audience to decide. It was like they put the pilots out for like a month or something and gave all like people who were subscribed to Prime the ability to watch it, and then we had to vote on it. And it was like the pilots that got the most votes, those were the pilots that they were going to turn into series. And these were some good pilots. There were these were some really, really good pilots. There was only one pilot that was like weak, and it was what's the guy in Shrinking? It doesn't matter, right? This whole thing, right? My friend Diaria, she's she has the show on BET. Diaria from Detroit. Why am I saying Diaria's name wrong? Diara. Am I adding the Ia? Anyway, yes. Is that your friend or not? Anywho, There were wonderful pilots, but what happened is before they could even see the light of day, this is also around the time when people was getting, people was getting a comeuppance from the Me. They was getting a comeuppance by being tore down in the Me Too of it all, right? And so whoever was the head of programming at Amazon at the time was a man, and he got caught up in some of the Me Too of it all, and so they replaced him with the new head of programming at Amazon, who's been there for, like I said, Jennifer Salk, she's been there for years at this point, right? Let me tell you, she came in and was like, no, we don't want no show, good or not, disassociated with old boy over here caught up in the Me Too of it all. Upload was a part of his slate. Now, it ain't got nothing to do with him. It sucks that a lot of shows and creatives had to suffer. And this is something that y'all have to understand about TV and film. You can book something that has the promise of changing your life, and then the writer, director, lead actor, the star on the show, whoever, the network, they could do something wrong in their life and it completely changes the trajectory of that project, whatever success you thought that project was going to bring to you. So she was like, oh, no. I don't care how good these pilots are. I don't care who was starting them. They going out with him. We flushing them down the toilet with him, except one pilot. Except one pilot, you guys. And that pilot was Upload. So back to the SNBC of it all and the Joy Reid of it all. It's so funny because we already 10 minutes in and I was like, I'm not really going to talk about it this episode, but we're talking about it. Because that does seem to happen on I'm Reasonable, which I don't know. Y'all let me know if I'm unreasonable or reasonable by being how I am. Okay. So I think sometimes with the new regime, like this new program director might feel like, oh, I know how to compete with the ratings of a Fox News. But here's the thing. Why you even want to compete with Fox News, though? Why? They're a broad... You know what? I'm not going to go into it on this because I actually know why. Because as much as every one of these stations are supposed to be different and they're trying to get a different view, they really all the same. Which is what I always say, you guys. They care nothing about, they only care about the bottom line. They only care about the money. Shmoney. I would be much louder if I was in my office, but one of my nephews is, I don't know if he's asleep because he my older nephew. He's a teenager, but he's in the next room. So I'm being kind of quiet, you guys. Anyway, it just really sucks because, and it seems really awful whether she's shaking things up, this new program director, which is a woman. It just sucks because as much as she seems, as much as she might be thinking she's shaking it up. And, Rachel Maddow said this today. She said this yesterday. She said this on Joy Reid's show, and she's been saying it on every broadcast that she's on since Joy and Reid's show got canceled, that it really does look bad. It really does look bad for MSNBC, a left-leaning news station, y'all think y'all on the right side of history, to let go your only two women of color that are leading their own shows. So it does feel like it's falling right in line with the narrative of we are going to get rid of any sort of DEI initiatives. But here's the thing, because I don't even want to put Joy-Ann Reid in no DEI box, although she is diverse. She should be equitable and she should be included at all times. But so besides that, besides you getting rid of your only two POC programs, Joy Reid really be giving voice to the voiceless. She really be telling it like it is. She really be giving the information that we need. She be speaking the truth. I saw a post, I think Angela Rye posted it, and it said to call, they gave a number to call. It was MSNBC, and they told you which prompts to choose. First you choose one, and then you choose two, and then you leave a message saying, we need Joy Ann Reid. I called the number. So I'm putting a number right up on the screen. I don't even know if it matters anymore. I don't even know if it still helps, but just in case it does, the number is now flashing on the screen. And so give it a call, because I definitely did as soon, because it's like social media ain't all for like looking pretty and gossiping about stuff, They're a real call to actions. So I did it. Y'all should too. Now, the reason why I put Vladimir Zelensky, I better be saying his name right. So the reason why I put Vladimir Zelensky on the more reasonable side of the scale is because on the road to stopping the war between Russia and Ukraine and the United States role in it, and Donald Trump having peace negotiations and same thing without Zelensky being at the table. If you guys don't know this, the Ukraine is not a part of NATO. They want to be a part of NATO though, because being a part of NATO automatically would protect them, and it would insulate them from Russia. Right? It would insulate them from Putin. And Putin and Russia, they have a much stronger military than the Ukraine, right? As valiant as the Ukraine people seemed when it first happened and their soldiers, although I am not, because this is an episode where we're not going to move past the BS. Although when it was first happening, we all had a collective checkout for a second when we saw all of the Ukrainians trying to evacuate, right? When Russia was attacking, but they was kicking the Africans that were in Ukraine off the train. Now we all saw that. And so I am saying here that was not forgotten at all. But the reason why I put him on a reasonable side of the scale today is because he said that he would step down from his position. He would step down from his position. He is the president of Ukraine, and he said that if for the Ukraine to be accepted into NATO, if it means that he has to step down, then he is willing to do that. And I feel like, yeah, that's how you lead. That's how you put your country before yourself. And so that's why he said, like I said, not this episode, but we'll probably come back to that. Okay. What we talking about today? Today we talk about movies. We talk about award shows. We talk about Mufasa the Lion King. We talk about Captain America. Both I recently saw. We are we talking NAACP Awards. Are we going to talk the SAG Awards? I don't know. One was real black, one was real white. I didn't watch both of them because, I like equality. No, I'm kidding. I actually did watch, after the fact, I did watch the NAACP Awards. And wow, was that a hard watch, respectfully. There were many winners and many losers at the NAACP Awards. And, even some Hall of Fame inductees, which was wonderful, and we'll talk about it. There were also some people who maybe folks feel like should not have been there. We'll get into it. But first, let's talk about where I be. Thank you so much, everybody that came out to Chicago. Oh my God. Chicago was fantastic. really close to perfection, actually. Chicago was fantastic. I hope everybody that came to the shows, I hope that you enjoyed it. And here's the thing. Y'all know this whole time, every time I've been promoting Chicago shows, I've been like, y'all, I'm so afraid because it's going to be so cold. Why were my shows the weekend that Chicago had the most mildest weather this winter? My friend was in town with me and we was getting ready to like head out, like to grab like lunch or something like that. And we were wrapped up. We had not been outside that day yet. I think this was like Saturday morning. We hadn't been outside yet. We were wrapped up. I'm talking about wool scarves wrapped around our face, our head. And the moment we got dressed, I was like, I think we're doing too much. I think my friend was like, I just can't be cold, Zainab. I can't be cold. When we walked outside, we immediately started opening up. And I mean, not me, because y'all know it take a lot for me to not be cold. But my friend was like, girl, I am sweating. I said, girl, I think I knew we was doing too much. I was like, it's nice. And it wasn't any wind. That's the thing about Chicago. It's the wind that will take your life, you know? It's the wind that make you feel like you didn't do something right in life. You know what I mean? But it was no wind. That's the key. Anyway, thank you everybody that came to my Chicago shows. They really were fantastic. Coming up next, I have Tempe, Arizona. One night only, March 8th. Tempe, Arizona. Cafeteria Comedy. One night only in Tempe, Arizona. Those tickets are available right now. Please go ahead and get those tickets. Then after that, April 4th, New York City. I think there are 50 tickets left. For New York City. That is April 4th. One night only. New York City, City Winery. Then April 11th and 12th, I will be in Toronto, Canada at Comedy Bar in Toronto, Canada. Only 3 shows, and I believe there's only a few tickets left for those shows as well. April 11th and 12th. May 2nd through the 4th, Arlington, Texas. June 6th through the 8th, Kansas City, Missouri. June 13th and 14th, San Francisco, California. June 19th and 21st, Baltimore. June 19th through the 21st, Baltimore, Maryland. Way in the future, December 5th through the 7th, Addison, Texas. And then I actually have more dates that are confirmed. We have Stamford, Connecticut, May 16th and 17th. So that's Stamford, Connecticut, May 16th and 17th. May 18th, we have Boston. May 18th, we have Boston. Let's see, what else? Atlanta. We have Atlanta, May 30th, 2 shows, May 30th in Atlanta, City Winery in Atlanta, 7 p.m., 10 p.m. show, Atlanta. Let's see, right now I'm just looking at I haven't even arranged these on my calendar yet, I don't think. Let's see, what else? I got Tampa on June 27th and 28th. Tampa, Florida, June 27th and 28th. Just check my calendar because we are adding dates every single day. We are adding dates. Okay, you guys? So check my calendar, zainabjohnson.com/live shows. But that link is below in the details of this podcast as well. So get those tickets. Come see me. I really enjoy my time with y'all. Let's keep this going. Okay. All right. Also, you can watch your Jabs Off. That's on Prime Video. You can watch Upload. That's on Prime Video. You can watch my Crowd Work show. That's on YouTube. And of course, you can just continue to tune into this podcast. So if you are not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button right now because it is 12:37 a.m. in the morning and I'm sitting here trying to be reasonable. So hit that subscribe button. I ain't got on no makeup. I really should take this wig off, wash my face, and brush my teeth and put on some pajamas and get into bed because actually, you guys, as much as it is 12:37 a.m., I got to get on a flight in the morning to New York City. The only way I could be reasonable is if I know y'all are hitting the subscribe button, if I know y'all are hitting the like button, and if I know y'all are sharing my content. Let me check and see if I'm still recording. Wouldn't that be crazy? Okay. So what's up with Z? I I saw Captain America this weekend. I saw Captain America this weekend. Did I see it this weekend? I saw it Monday. As soon as I got to my mom's house, I saw it with my nephew who is in 3rd grade. So I kept him out late on a school night, but I made sure he did all his homework first. I saw it with my nephew who is in 3rd grade and my younger brother, who you guys see a lot with me. Like he was with me in Europe. You see him. Yeah, I post him on my stories and stuff like that. Anyway, he been keeping it low because he just had surgery on his knee. So he been keeping it real low, and I dragged him out the house with me. And we went and saw Captain America. And so here's a few things that I'll say about Captain America. First of all, for all the people saying, will America accept a black Captain America? Absolutely. Absolutely. It is my review to say, if you are a Marvel fan, if you are a superhero fan, if you've seen every other Marvel movie, go see Captain America. Go see this new Captain America. I felt like Anthony Mackie really did a good job in carrying the movie. I thought Harrison Ford was a nice, a nice supporting cast. Zosha, what is Zosha's last name? Why can't I find Zosha? This is what I hate about Google, because it's like Roquemore, that's her name. Zosha Roquemore. Zosha is spelled with an X. Zosha, what do people know Zosha from? She was from the Mindy Project. That's probably where a lot of people know her from, the Mindy Project. But what else? Cherish the Day. I'm Dying Up Here. She definitely did that. She was in Precious. And so now she's in Captain America Brave New World. And I was surprised, and maybe I just missed it, but I was surprised that in none of the promotion they showed her. And it made me realize, like, I was so pleasantly surprised to see her. And I guess I never even really thought about it, because when you think about superhero movies, you're not thinking about like the rest of the cast unless it is like an ensemble cast, right? But it's like, you showing me Harrison Ford. So why not show me the third leading, the third build cast, which was Zosha? Also, people like to see themselves. So maybe for some of the women that aren't comic book fans, that aren't Marvel fans, maybe if you would have showed them Zosha, they would have been like, oh, there's my reason to go see it, which made me think, right? Like, I think that movie studios need to take a little bit of a page out of like the Netflix book. And I mean, there are a lot of things wrong with Netflix, right? There are a lot of things it's like, and this is why I refuse to pay this increased fee going forward, but whatever, right? What Netflix does is Netflix says, I don't care why you watch it, but what we need you to do is we need you to watch it. I don't care why you subscribe. I just need you to subscribe. That's Netflix's motto, whether they say it or not, which is why if Netflix wants you to watch some of their programming, if they want you to watch a show, they will show you the black, and they can see, oh, all the content that you watching are filled with black people. They're going to say, oh, we'll show you the one extra. We'll show you the one black background actor in this movie to get you to click on this movie. And we hope that although we tricked you into clicking into it, we hope you stay. And I realized that there should have been multiple Captain America trailers. Now, here's the thing. There may have been, and I may just not have seen them. But I feel like in all the press of it, I didn't see Zosha on no red carpet. And here's the thing. I'm sure there was a red carpet, but I just don't feel like it was publicized. And I don't want to put that on her, and I don't want to put that on her publicity team. I'm putting that on the studio. You got a young, beautiful, chocolate black woman who is accomplished. being third or fourth billed in this movie, in this big ass movie. Show her. Give us a little tease. Did I miss it, y'all? Tell me if I'm being unreasonable or not. So, at the end of every Marvel movie, you got to wait for all the credits to go by. You got to wait for them to thank all the places. Every single credit to go by. The lights is going to come up in the theater. And just when you think ain't nothing else about to happen, then they're going to show you a scene that lets you know what's coming next, right? In the next movie that they putting out. So my nephew, who's in 3rd grade, it's Monday, and I got him out on a school night. He ready to go. He done already been away from his phone for 2 hours. At some point in the movie, he was like, Auntie, can I have my phone? I was like, no, the movie's almost over. And then it got to the good part, and I could tell it got to a more action, not a good part, but a more action part, and he sat up. I'm like, see, if you had your phone, you would have missed it. So as the credits is rolling and me and my brother just sitting there, my nephew looking at us like, it's done. Why are we sitting here? Let's go. It's Monday. I got to go to school in the morning. And I said, no, you got to wait because they going to show us a scene. He was like, they not going to show us a scene. And now it's the regular credits. It's the credits. It's like the credits that the editor does. It ain't the credits that's rolling on the screen, right? So after the cool credits, then he's like, it's not happening. Then we got to sit through the rolling credits, right? He was like, Auntie, it's not happening. It's not happening. I said, okay, you want to bet me $5? He was like, yeah, I'll bet you $5. He said it real easy. Like he just got $5 to spare. I said, okay, I bet you $5. And obviously this ain't a real bad, Astaghfirullah. I said, I bet you $5 that there is going to be a new scene that lets us know what's coming in the next movie after this. Something that teases the next movie. He was like, okay, I bet you, Auntie. Don't you know we waited. And of course there was a scene. Of course. Because anybody that has seen any Marvel movies knows there's going to be a scene at the end. My nephew going to get up. He was like, I was like, I told you. How long you been on this earth? 7, 8 years? How long I've been on this earth? I've been watching movies since before you was alive, kid. I said, so run me my $5. He was like, I ain't got no $5, Auntie. I said, oh, so you just out here placing bets without no money? So now I got my nephew locked in the closet. No, I'm just kidding. My little brother was like, yo, you better give my sister her money. It was a good time. Anywho, main topics. Okay, we're going to talk about one more movie, and then that movie is going to lead us into the awards. And then I'm getting out of here because it's 12:46 a.m. While I was in Chicago, my friend who came to visit me for the weekend and hang out, she was like, I want to see Mufasa, the Lion King. And I was like, I said, you know what? I do too. And we tried to look it up in theaters, but I was staying, I'm like in downtown Chicago, and it was playing on like the outskirts, and it was playing during all the times that I had shows. So I couldn't go see it in a theater. So after we ate lunch, we went back to the hotel, and I was like, you know what? Let's see if it's like, let's see if it's streaming. Like we could probably order it online or even order it on a hotel TV. Cause I was at like a nice hotel. I was like the Pendry, I could say it now cause I'm like, I ain't there no more. But if I was taping while I was still there, I would not have said that, you guys. But I'm like, and we could just watch it, in a hotel. And so we do that. And it was a very comfortable watch. We put the blackout curtains, made it dark. We had snacks. It was a good time. Let me tell you, Mufasa, the Lion King. Why ain't nobody talking about how good this movie is? Have y'all seen it? I don't want to give it away just in case y'all going to see it, but it is really good. Now, what it's not for kids. It's not for children at all. It's about lineage. It's about belonging. It's about, stepping into yourself. It's about feeling like you do belong. It's about who you are. It's about who you're meant to be. It was a lot of death. And I don't mean like the circle of life death. I mean intentional, evil. Oh, y'all gotta go because y'all are terrorizing the rest of the animal kingdom. Death. It was so good. Not for kids. Not for kids at all. I can't even see kids. Maybe like young kids just will like the colors. But I think that any kids that can understand it would be a little bit traumatized. Like the themes just seem very adult. Anyway. And they had these like evil lions. They was white lions. A bunch of them evil. I was calling them the vampire lions because they was definitely looking like they don't have no reflection in the mirror. White lions. So much so. And they were just dirty. They was dirty, trifling, bullies, starting trouble. And I had to look it up. I really did. I was like, first of all, are white lions real? Because I never really seen a white lion. So I had to look that up. And it's like, yeah, they're very real. But what they are abnormal because it is like I was about to say a defect, but it's not a defect. It's a genetic mutation that makes a lion white. So even if a lion is white, it's not going to be a bunch of lions this white. But in Mufasa the Lion King, they made a whole clan of lions just white. Like that's like these lions over here is white. These lions over here is brown. These lions over here is like a little bit darker brown. These lions over here got highlights. These lions over here is like orange or yellow. Like they made it seem like that, almost like that was their distinguishing, you know what I'm saying? Like this is how we know them apart. But it's like, nah, if it's a genetic mutation, it's not happening over and over and over and over and over again. It's like the chances of it are very slim, which is why to see a white lion is very rare. That's why you got to be careful with like how cartoons portray things because they're, and this is another reason why I say like it's not for kids because kids learn from programming like this, right? And I'm not talking bad about the movie. It's just that it made me think about the Tasmanian devil. So I always thought the Tasmanian devil be running around, going crazy, spinning, having a tantrum, foaming at the mouth, seeming like he going through an exorcism. And then a couple of years ago, I go to Australia for the first time. I go to an animal sanctuary and they tell me they have Tasmanian devils. And I'm like, I got to see a Tasmanian devil. And part of me is scared because I'm like, he going to be running around acting crazy, turning in circles, trying to attack everybody, being mad. When I finally find a Tasmanian devil, it's a sleepy ass, lazy little dog that look like a bear, tiny like dog bear hybrid, tiny with little red ears, not doing nothing but laying down and sleeping, looking at us like, what do you want? Why are you over here? Why are you bothering me? Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back inside because I don't want nothing to do with you. And I was like, why would Looney Tunes do that to the Tasmanian devil? Why would they have kids? Why would they have the youth believing that the Tasmanian devil is angry and having a bunch of seizures? When really, it's just a little Australian wildlife dog that look like it got a bare face. The tips of the ears is red. Clearly, there's no more lubricant in my chapstick. It's 12:53 a.m. But what I'm not going to do is be tired, look crazy, have a deep ass voice, and my lips be chapped. And my wig might be sliding off. I don't know. It's 12:53 in the morning. Another thing in Mufasa, the Lion King, that I was confused about, they had the white lions in the snow. And I was like, what? My friend was laughing at me because I kept having to stop it. I was like, now where in Africa is the snow? And of course, in the mountainous areas, so I know like Kilimanjaro, right? When you climb up the mountain, I know when you start, it ain't snowy, but by the time you get to the top, it be snowing, right? It's because of the altitude, right? So I know that, and the temperature as you climb in altitude, right? I know that, right? We've seen that a lot of places where it's like, oh, the mountains got snowy tops, but it ain't no snow down at the bottom of the mountain, right? In the valleys, right? But the way they made it seem, they just made it seem like right next to, it's just the way they made it so icy, it just didn't even seem like, I just never seen no pictures. Even when people climb the highest mountains in Africa, even when they go, cause it's like Mount Kilimanjaro, it's like parts of the Congo, and like one other place that gets like snow in certain places in Africa. But again, this is not most of Africa, of the continent of Africa. But they made it seem like, yeah, no, they made it seem like how, like when you travel from LA to New York, it's like when you go through Nebraska or Colorado, you're going to be going through a lot of snow. They made it seem like that. And it's like, anyway, I'm going to watch it again. That's how good the movie is, in my opinion. So good. Now, let's skip on over to the NAACP Awards, right? If you don't know the NAACP award, the NAACP stands for the National Association of Advancement of Colored People, right? And it, in its inception and even now, that is exactly, I'm sure, what they believe their mission statement is. Their mission is, to advance people of color, and specifically Black people, Black American people, right? And I applaud them for all of their work. Only thing we probably can't applaud them for is Rachel Dolezal becoming the president of the Washington State or Seattle NAACP chapter. How did that happen? Maybe maybe we needed Elon Musk and Doge at that time working for the NAACP to find out, how did this white woman with cornrows lead this organization for the advancement of colored people? Okay. I can't even really speak as freely as I want in regards to the NAACP Awards. They happen every year, just like the Grammys, just like the BET Awards, just like the Oscars, just like the Emmys, just like the Golden Globes. They happen every single year. The reason why I can't speak as freely as I would like, as freely as I would talk to a friend of mine, is because I know some people actually tune in just to hold what I say against me today in the future. Or we gonna get to the Cynthia Erivo of it all. Anywho, the reason why I say I can't really speak freely is I know the award shows, they're not there, because you can do them privately, right? So they're not there just to award people. They have TV slots because it attracts very high advertising dollars, right? So, yeah, give everybody awards, but also if you have all the biggest stars in the same room for one night, for 2 hours, guess what? Everybody's going to be watching. And so every advertiser, every company, every anybody trying to sell, anybody that has product is going to try to get that advertising space, right? So this ain't just, again, remember, I feel like last week I said ain't nobody doing nothing out the goodness of their heart. Or I said that a few episodes ago. That's just not how capitalism works. You just doing it because you just want to be nice to people. That is just, unfortunately, not how capitalism works. So while award shows are nice and people are celebrated and people look pretty, even I had a whole entire great time hosting ABFF honors. But let me tell you, if I thought that I could leave that stage without paying tribute and saying thank you to the companies that sponsored the event, no. No. I even had to be careful with brands that I used in my material, because that night we are celebrating the brands that sponsor the event. It's all about getting your product placed. It's all about selling to the people. Okay, so now I know that's what it's about. And I know that you invite people there and that you nominate people and that I get the nomination of it all, because if you nominate people, that can almost guarantee that they will attend. And I'm all over the place, but it's 1:00 in the morning. So you're going to have to be reasonable. You're going to have to be a reasonable listener, okay? I recognize that that you invite people because you hope that you hope that they attend, whether they win or not. You want those big names in the room. You want those celebrity faces, so that and you want to be able to announce them as well. Like if a person is not presenting and if they're not nominated, right, and they're not performing, that's another thing. Sidebar, CS 101 AM. So be a reasonable listener. I know I'm hopping all around. NAACP ain't got no performances, so it makes it it's a little bit harder to watch, especially since y'all got all the talent in the room for the performances. But we ain't got, only thing they had, they might have had like a gospel band or something like that, or choir. And then they had DJ D Nice, who's great. They had DJ D Nice DJing, but it's like, I ain't trying to put Chloe Bailey to work, but girl, give us a pop 1-2, vocal. Anyway, I'm off topic. You want people there, right? You want people there because the more the bigger the celebrity is, the bigger the greater the visibility of the event, and therefore, as I said, the bigger the advertisers, right? More advertisers come. But here's the thing. Just because you nominate them does not mean you can't truly grant the reasonable winner. Now, I'm going to say this, and I say this with love, and I say this respectfully. For voice acting in a motion picture, they gave it to Blue Ivy, and they were dead wrong. And let me just tell y'all what. Blue Ivy did amazing. She did amazing. She had about 8 lines. But let me tell you, she did amazing. She did amazing on 2 levels. She did amazing just because she was so believable. As that little cub lion, that lion cub, that little girl lion cub, she was so believable. She did so good. But also for this to be, I believe, her first voiceover job, she did fantastic. But let me tell you who should have got that award, and he wasn't even nominated. Let me show y'all who was nominated first of all. It's a lot of categories. Okay, so outstanding character, voiceover performance, motion picture. Aaron Pierre, Mufasa the Lion King. Anika Noni Rose, Mufasa the Lion King. Ayo Aderby, Inside Out 2. Blue Ivy Carter, Mufasa the Lion King. And Lupita Nyong'o, The Wild Robot. No shade to any of these supremely talented people. Let me tell you, they got this all the way wrong. The actor that played Taka in Mufasa the Lion King, Kelvin Harrison Jr., brother, I not that you need it, because you probably don't. And again, Blue Ivy, she did so well. Me and my friend had to stop the movie. We had to stop the movie and acknowledge. We just had to say it out loud because it was too good. It was if y'all have not watched the movie, or if you have, please in the comments, please let me know if I am being unreasonable or not. If you have seen it, Kelvin Harrison Jr. should have every single award for voice acting in a motion picture. Voice acting in a motion picture. Not only did he capture every single emotion, not only did he his brother. And it's like, I don't want to. I understand it. I understand why you would give it to Blue Ivy. But why? I understand why I give it to Blue Ivy in that category. But they ain't even have him in the category, which makes me wonder, who's putting this together? But I look at that category and it's really just about who's hot and who has reverence, right? Who's hot and who has reverence. That's really what it's about. I said I really didn't want to speak freely, but it's like Aaron Pierre is hot right now because, he is Mufasa and that clip went viral. Anika Noni Rose, who is phenomenal. But let me tell you what. I watched that whole movie and didn't even know watched the whole movie, saw it before, didn't even know Anika Noni Rose was in it. Didn't even know that was her voice. That's no shade to her. It's no shade to her, but she has reverence. Ayo, love Ayo. I don't know who Ayo played in Inside Out 2. I saw Inside Out 2. Blue Ivy did great. I didn't see The Wild Robot, so I can't even comment on what Lupita did. I didn't even see The Wild Robot. But Lupita is another person that has reverence. But Kelvin Harrison Jr., go watch Mufasa the Lion King. And then come back and let me know what y'all think. But here's the thing, you guys. Not only did he kill it, he sounded exactly like the original voice of Scar. So at first it was me. At first I was like, he is killing it. And I had to contain myself because I was trying not to ruin the movie for my friend. But also, sometimes your feelings for a movie shouldn't be like, it can sway somebody else's feelings. So when I'm watching something with a friend, I might try my best to reserve my opinions until the very end so that they can experience the movie in their own way and have their opinion. And then at the end we can discuss, right? Let me tell you, at some point, my friend even had to stop. She said, yo, he sounds just like the original Scar. I said, so when I watched that NAACP award and realized that he did two people. Now, Aaron Pierre was good. He was. But y'all just, Go watch the movie and come back and let me know. Okay. Other news in NAACP. So they honored Kamala Harris, they honored Dave Chappelle, and they inducted the Wayans family into the NAACP Hall of Fame, which is long overdue. I was actually asked this on the red carpet at the ABFF Honors, how I felt about the Wayans family being inducted. And I'm like, the Wayans family should have a star on a Hollywood Walk of Fame. If they don't already, let's make sure they get their star. They should be in every Hall of Fame. They should be being honored. They should have classes teaching comedy. They should have classes teaching TV writing and filmmaking and TV. You know what I'm saying? They are a national treasure as a family. I did notice when they went up, Damon Sr., he won for Best Actor in a Comedy Series, and Damon Jr. won for Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, and that was for their CBS show Papa's House. But when the entire family, or a good amount of the family, went up to accept their Hall of Fame induction, I noticed two of the main Wayans that we know weren't there. I don't know why. I wonder why. I don't know why. Keenan Ivory Wayans wasn't there. The head, right? He wasn't there. And Sean wasn't there. Now, I be wanting to see both of them, because let me tell you why. Keenan Ivory Wayans, every time I have seen him in the past 10 or so years, 15 years, he has seemed like, ever since I've been seeing him, since I've been an adult, he looks like the pillar of health. When they was doing a reboot of In Living Color, I'll never forget this. When they was doing a reboot of In Living Color, it never saw the light of day. But when they was doing a reboot of In Living Color, I remember being on set one day. I was on set for a couple of sketches. I remember Lil Rel sketch. I remember a couple of sketches, right? And Keenan Ivory Wayans was directing the sketch. And I just remember watching him. He was doing a dog whisperer sketch. And just watching him, I was like, this man knows. And I watched him do the character. He ain't playing the character, but I watched him give direction and then just jump into it. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal to watch. But let me tell you what else I watched. I watched him eat a salad. Yo, he chewed each bite of the salad like 100 times. 100 times, you guys. He chewed each bite. And you know, that's what they say. See, me, I'm surprised I ain't big as a house, because I eat a lot of food and I don't be chewing it. I be swallowing it. I'm surprised that I ain't big as a house and choking on everything I eat, because I be taking 2 bites. I be chewing it twice and then swallowing it. And you're not supposed to help the digest. Part of your digestive system is chewing. I watched him chew each bite 100 times. So anytime that I have seen him, since I have been a comedian, he be looking like the pillar of health. And you know, he one of them tall, brown, fine, older men. So I definitely was like, ooh, what is Keenan? Because I always had a crush on Damon Sr. Always. I don't care. I don't care. I had always had a crush on Damon Sr. Love Damon Jr. Absolutely love him. Love Craig, love Shantae, you know what I'm saying? Love Marlon, Sean, all of them. Kim, underrated. Oh my God. Okay, now I'm off on a tangent, but underrated. Whatever. Anywho, I was looking like, let me see how fine he looking today, and then he wasn't there. And I feel like Sean, I don't know where Sean was, but he wasn't there either. And I know for a long time, you know, everybody considers Sean like the fine one. You know? And so I'm sure people were like, we ain't seen Sean since like White Chicks. Where's Sean at? But Sean was not there. But their speech was very nice. Their speech was really just like, they really just sort of paid tribute to Keenan. And, you know, told Keenan's story, like an abridged version of Keenan's journey, and how he paved the way for them. And it was just really, really, really sweet. Keke Palmer won Entertainer of the Year. Not surprising at all. Hey, It's Kiki, the gag is. And that was really wonderful to see. But there has been a dragging of Cynthia Erivo. Let's get into it. And then I'm getting out of here because it's 1:15 a.m. Boy, y'all know how to dance on somebody's grave. Baby, baby, let me just tell you what. If you plan on doing anything public facing in this life, make sure you walk the straight and narrow. Because if you do anything wrong, oh, it's people waiting to ease on down your road. All right. So the Cynthia Erivo of it all. And I remember when I spoke about like really enjoying Wicked, I remember I had said, yeah, people are talking about these Cynthia Erivo tweets, but I'm not going to get into that. And I read a comment that said something like, that's why I hate black people, just glazing over. And that's why y'all didn't get no episodes for 3 or 4 weeks. Because I saw that comment and said, you know what? I wondered if I talked to them when I was on vacation. But thank you so much for this comment. Let me know. No. I've already given too much. So, Cynthia Erivo been working for a minute. Cynthia Erivo got a lot of, she got her first big accolade when she did Color Purple on Broadway. She played Celie, and people seem not to have a problem with that. She won a Tony for playing Celie on Broadway. It wasn't until, and she did a couple of roles. I remember she did this like heist movie with Viola Davis. I can't remember what it's called. I didn't think it was very good. I did not know who Cynthia Erivo was at the time, and I also didn't know why she was in the movie. And I say that respectfully, and I don't say that like Cynthia Erivo hate. I say that like it just, at the time Cynthia Erivo was probably triple her size. No lie. Probably triple the size that she is right now. And so I thought she was in this heist movie because the part didn't really require much and she didn't really bring anything to it. But she was buff. She was buff and she had like a real short haircut. And so I was like, oh, maybe that's her role. Like maybe she the muscle. You know, I didn't get it. And I ain't even gonna look up the movie because this wasn't a very good movie. And respectfully and with love to Queen Viola Davis. But anyway, she did, what's that movie I really love when she sings that song? I think I told you this before, a Casino Royale. Again, I don't even remember her doing anything in the movie except she sang, I need love, love. She sang the Supreme song a cappella. And it sounded superb. And it was memorable. It was definitely memorable. I don't think I connected that woman with the woman from, because she be looking different. It's like she kind of changed with every role. And I don't mean like, like a Jeffrey Wright. I don't mean like she changes into the role. I mean, maybe she's been on a journey finding herself. I don't know. Then she did Harriet Tubman. She did the movie Harriet, which there's levels to Harriet. First of all, people felt like the way the movie was written and directed was not even. They felt like now y'all done messed up there, right? I even did a review on my old podcast on Honest Tea with Z. I did a whole review. I think it was called the One Positive Harriet Review, because I tried to give the movie and Cynthia a lot of grace. I tried, right? Because I saw what they was trying to do, although I felt like they weren't successful, but I felt like I saw what they was trying to do, right? Anywho, this happens a lot. And I don't really know if blame is ever placed in the right place, right? So like this happened to the actor who played Bob Marley as well. After I saw Bob Marley, the moment I opened up my TikTok, all I saw was, I don't know how I wandered on Jamaican TikTok. All I saw was the Ross clot, blood clot, they got their britches, boy. The britches, forgive my accent. Forgive it, I'm so sorry. My awful attempt at a Jamaican accent. And of course, there's a bunch of different Jamaican whatever, but I'm gonna keep going. They was like, they bloody britches boy playing that Bob, man. He could never be Bob. He could never be Bob. They sucking their teeth. I'm talking about Jamaican TikTok. Livid. You hear me? Livid. Livid. I saw it. I thought he was good, but I reserved space for the native Jamaicans to feel like, why didn't you cast? Because Bob Marley ain't just a light-skinned man with an accent. He ain't just a light-skinned man with an accent. He is a biracial man who a lot of what he preached, a lot of what he sang about was built very much in his Jamaican identity. It's the same. It's not as ridiculous, which is funny that Zoe was at whatever. There's, we gotta forgive and forget, right? Apparently we can with some people, because the way y'all drag Zoe Saldana, Saldana, I don't know how to say. The way y'all dragged her for trying to play Nina Simone and putting on that black face and manipulating her nose, putting on that nose prosthetic, and putting on that headscarf, the way y'all drag Zoe Saldana. But now a few years later, she right there front row, accepting an award for the foreign film you know what I'm saying? And she at the NAACP, and it's so hard to do this because I don't want to tear down or come at Zoe Saldana because I'm not even arguing for Cynthia Erivo. I'm just wondering if all the backlash is the most reasonable thing we could be doing. But remember, we had a problem with Zoe. Because Zoe came right out and said, I'm not black. They was like, well, but you're Afro-Latina, right? She was like, I'm not black. I don't know why y'all keep trying to force me to be black. Well, girl, because when they cast you in movies, you always play this new Amelia Perez. That's new for you. But every time you get cast in a movie, you be playing a black girl. And you are brown skin. You be darker than everybody else in the film. So that's why we was calling you black. And you American. You was born here in the United States. You speak Spanish. Okay, so then you Afro-Latina. Oh, you not? Remember, we was really upset with Zoe. But now, today, ain't nobody messing with the trans lady. Was saying what she was saying, but like they forgot that they had a problem with Zoe not being black and also trying to play Nina Simone. So when the awards aired, the NAACP awards aired, Cynthia Erivo was front and center. Cynthia Erivo got a lot of camera time. And here's the thing, that's of course on purpose, because Cynthia Erivo is probably one of the most Googled names right now, because Cynthia Erivo is in one of the highest grossing movies of the year. She is in one of the highest grossing movies of the year, and that is about one of the highest grossing Broadway plays ever. She sings a song that is considered one of the hardest songs on Broadway ever, by one of the most talented and revered Broadway singers ever. So you see how there's like layers to this. Also starring alongside one of the biggest pop stars right now, Ariana Grande. So Cynthia Erivo's name is being searched. She's being nominated for a lot of things. She also has like a Tony, and she might have she got a few awards. And so everybody is trying to see, will she be an EGOT winner? Will she be an EGOT person? And you know, there's only a few black women that are EGOTs, right? Anyway, Cynthia Erivo got nominated in 2 categories at the NAACP Awards. She got nominated for Entertainer of the Year, which I don't know why. That one, Keke Palmer is very funny because Keke Palmer was like, girl, I didn't think I was going to win because, right? Keke Palmer's great. But it's like, yeah, of course Keke won. Keke is on every show in movies and TV shows, hosting podcasts on every... There ain't a stage that Keke Palmer ain't on. Cynthia Erivo did 1 movie. If you look at everybody else that's entertainers of the year, it's like... Yeah, I understand when they nominate Kevin Hart for Entertainer of the Year. He'd be on a football field, he'd be at the basketball game, he'd be on every podcast, then he'd be at the music concert, then he'd do the comedy tour, then he'd do 4 movies and 3 TV shows. And then he'd sit down and drink wine with people and interview them. Yeah, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of entertaining in a year. Cynthia Erivo, whether you agree or not, whether you think she's talented or not, 1 movie. 1 movie this year. 1 movie. So why would she even be in that category anyway? But whatever. Whatever. So, okay, she lost that one. And then lead actress in a motion picture, I think, was the other one that she was nominated in. And she lost to Kerry Washington, who won for 688. So then people started to get online and say like, ha, 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 ha. Of course they had you there. Almost like the NAACP played Cynthia Erivo. Like, oh, you don't like black people. Okay, so let me go back to the tweets. When Cynthia Erivo was cast as Harriet, there was a lot of like backlash, right? And it was a lot of backlash by way of Harriet Tubman is an American figure who escaped from slavery. This is a black American story. So why do you have a British actress playing a black American story? Playing this black American civil rights person, this prominent person in history? Why are you constantly, and you is the proverbial you of Hollywood, why do you keep outsourcing to British talent every time you are portraying our historic black American figures? Now that's very true. And that is a more than reasonable discussion to have. I'm not quite sure if the artist is to blame for it though. As an artist, and this ain't got nothing to do with Cynthia Erivo. This ain't got nothing to do with the Bob Marley boy. This ain't got nothing to do with Damson Idris or any one of them, Daniel Kaluuya. It don't got nothing to do with them. They are artists. What an artist wants to do is art. An actor wants to act. A singer wants to sing. A basketball player wants to play basketball. So it don't matter where that opportunity is, they're going to take it because that's what they want to do. They want to portray a character that is not them. So I don't think it's worth, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's reasonable to be like, y'all can't take no jobs here. Y'all can't take no jobs about us. I think that's very unreasonable. I don't, however, think it's unreasonable to expect a certain amount of respect for them and acknowledgement of them being able to do what it is that they do because we over here do what we do. When I was in Paris doing shows last year, the promoter that brought me out there, he was such a wonderful guy, and he said to me, he said, I know Black Americans think that you have it hard. He said, and I know you do. He said, and I understand that you think you might not be making waves. He said, but what you have to understand is around the world, we cannot do anything until you guys do it. He said, and if anybody tells you otherwise, if anybody makes you believe otherwise, just remember, in every other part of the world, people who look like us, that we cannot do anything until you guys, you Black American people, men and women, do it. You are our gateway. You are our door opener. So it's not unreasonable at all for these artists, as they should, just because they are, to have a respect for the characters and the cultures that they are portraying. Cynthia Erivo had a couple of tweets. Now here's the thing, you can't really find them tweets no more. I tried. There's a few people who have screenshot like a little bit of a tweet or something like that. There's one tweet that's going around, one picture of a tweet that's going around where she said, so somebody attacked her. And I hope that I'm getting this right, because again, these are tweets from like 2017, 2018 or something like that. And I'm sure Cynthia Erivo's team has worked very hard to get them scrubbed from the internet. But somebody tweeted at her that she shouldn't be playing the role Harriet. And she responded back, and they got into a back and forth. And there was one tweet where she said, in parentheses, in my ghetto Black American accent, you know, and then she wrote what she wrote, and it did sound like, I don't know, it sounded like a very regional, like it ain't my accent, you know what I'm saying? It ain't the cadence or the vernacular that I speak in, but it did sound like a very specific region in the United States, you know? And I think probably the trigger word, because she could have just said Black American accent and we would have read it and took it like, yeah, if I write something and then I put in parentheses in my Idris Elba accent, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, in my Top Boy accent, then you know how I want you to sound when you read this message. But the fact that she said ghetto is the thing that's like, wait, hold up a second. Don't get punched in your face, Miss Lady. I believe that there are more tweets out there that are along that same line. And so people are like, here's the thing, Cynthia Erivo, we don't care what you do. We don't like you, and we're not going to like you because you have exhibited behavior of self-hate, of elitism, which is what some people who are not Americans try to pose on Black Americans. That shit that comes from, like, you know, Africans, that shit that comes from Black British people, that shit that comes from Black people in the islands, you know what I'm saying? That elite shit. But I'll repeat it just as the Parisian boy said to me, you can't do nothing without us. I remember I was doing a show, speaking of New York, my show's in New York City. I remember when I first started talking about like gun material, like firearm material on stage. And I posed the question that I do at some shows. I was like, if only one group of people can have guns in this country, who should it be? And I say Black women, and I say why. And I remember this Indian lady, the brown Indian lady, going to say, I mean us too. I said, and I had to really stop down and give her a TED talk and essentially put her in her place. And I don't mean like socially we are at different statuses, but historically in this country, I had to explain to her why she can't do shit if a black American woman hasn't done it already. And everybody in the audience said, damn. So, I say all of that to say, I completely get the side eye of Cynthia Erivo. I completely get y'all side-eyeing her. But some of the videos that I see, it be like, so y'all really want y'all want this girl to be begging in the alley somewhere. Is there no room for, I mean, but you still listening to R. Kelly? Or fill in the blank. You still being selective with your outrage. And I say that, I ain't even a Cynthia Erivo fan. I don't dislike her. I'm just saying her work don't move me, which is why I said Wicked. That's the reason why I spoke out and said how much I loved her. I loved Wicked when it was on Broadway. I don't need to see the movie to know that I love Wicked. I loved it on Broadway. But I'm talking about her specifically, in that role specifically. Being a whole entire green person and that being the most beautiful I think I ever seen her look. Because the way she emoted in that character, in that film, is undeniable. Now that don't make me want, that doesn't make me closed off to her sitting down and having a conversation and maybe even taking the time to correct what she said in the past, or acknowledging it, being accountable for it, apologizing, and move on. But y'all be like, she hate black women, she cannot hate black women. Her wife is a black lady. Her whole wife is a black lady. A black American lady. I think those is her pronouns. Her whole wife is a black American lady. That's it. It's 1:39 in the morning. I'm going to go. I'm going to get in the shower and I'm going to pack and get on my flight. Oh, there's no ask. I ain't even checked for Ask Z. You want to know why? Because it's 1:40 a.m. in the morning. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank you so. I ain't say nothing about the SAG Awards. It's 1:40 in the morning. I will say this about award shows, period. It's very hard to fake chemistry. You know, when people be reading copy and it's supposed to be funny and it don't be funny. And it's because a lot people write funny copy and they think just because you write it funny, people can deliver it funny. One of my favorite Dave Chappelle jokes, and then I'll go, this lives rent free in my head. When I first saw him perform it live, I said, yo, it lived rent free in my head for a year. It didn't come out as good on a special, but whatever, I'm going to tell the joke now. He said his wife, this is in his most recent special, I think. He said his wife said, Dave, if something happened to you, I don't know what I'll do. And he said, don't worry. I left the safety deposit box for you. And he gave her the key to the safety deposit box. And like the first punchline is like, she checked the safety deposit box before I even passed it. She checked it the next day. That's the first punchline, right? That ain't the part that lives rent free in my head. The part that lives rent free in my head is when she checked the safe deposit box, all she found was his joke book. And she goes to Dave Chappelle and she says, Dave, what is this? You only left me your joke book. What are me and the kids supposed to do with your joke book? And Dave Chappelle says, if you say those jokes exactly how I wrote them, you'll be set for life. And if y'all don't get what he's saying in that, only he can tell the jokes the way he tells them. That's what makes him Dave Chappelle. That's what makes me Zainab Johnson. That's what makes fill in the blank, fill in the blank. So just because you write it funny does not mean that people can deliver it funny. And on the flip side, you could write something that ain't that funny. And funny people can make it funny. Can deliver it funny. Eddie Murphy, somebody like that. I don't know, he could just, read the phone book, and I don't know, it's just funny. I can't always say what I think. Anywho, yeah, that's what I'll say about the award shows. Like, whatever, it don't matter. It is 1:42 in the morning. Good night. Good morning. Hello. Goodbye. This is I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Until next time, you know what to do. Stay reasonable. Okay, bye.